Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Go So Beautiful. My name's Becky and today is Friday Sews. It's really beginning to look a lot like Christmas, isn't it? I'm really starting to enjoy this season and have been really busy in my sewing room this week, and I can't wait to share it with you. Friday Sews was started by Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room, and a lot of the sewing YouTubers participate in this hashtag every Friday and share things that they've been working on or things they've made and a little bit about life. If you're new to my channel, thanks for stopping by. If you've been with me for a while, I appreciate you coming back. So this week I've been pretty busy in my sewing room. I've been working on the plans that I made back in November, at the end of November. And the first thing I worked on was my collaboration project with Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room. Now you may have already seen the video, but we made the Duet Trousers. And I had made the Duet Trousers last month with Megan from Megan G Makes, but I'd heard Jen mention that she wanted to make them too, so we went ahead and did a collaboration. I'm really pleased with the way they turned out, and although they're a little bit stiff, I did try a vinegar soak, and I got lots of comments from you all that one other method I could try is to soak them in Coke. I googled this method for softening denim and I found quite a few different ways to use it. Everything from putting a can of Coke in with the wash to soaking them in a tub with 2 liters of Coke and some water. So I decided to go with the 2-liter method, and I will be soaking my stiff denim jeans this weekend in a tub of Coca-Cola and water, and then I will put them in the wash, and I'll let you all know next week how they turn out. Hopefully they'll be a little softer. The next thing I worked on was this black Ponte cardigan jacket. I had mentioned this in my plans video. This is McCalls M6802. And I mentioned this last week as a work in progress. I did make a few changes. I made the hood smaller. I just used another hoodie and traced the shape of it onto my cardigan here and just stitched along that line. I also shortened the length by about 2 inches because it was almost down to my knees and I just felt like it was too long. So I'll put a picture of me modeling it up here, and I think it'll be a nice addition to my wardrobe. I did also add a channel to the waist to put a drawstring through. I don't have a drawstring at this time, but I will get a twill, some twill tape and run that through, and then I'll take more pictures next week. But I thought it might just add a little bit more shape to it. So this is one thing I can cross off my list. It's finished, but I just need to add that little drawstring. We'll see how it looks. The next thing I worked on was an ugly sweater. My church had our Christmas party this weekend, and there was an ugly sweater contest. And I'd actually started making this last year. I had some old red stretch crushed velvet fabric, and I never used it for anything, and I cut a big poncho, and then I glued some bells and some Christmas trees, and I thought, well, I could use that for my ugly sweater, but I didn't feel like the poncho would be very I thought it would be kind of awkward to have to wear at a party. So I decided to make it into a little peasant style shirt, and I found a free pattern, and I will put that pattern in the description box. But here's a picture of me wearing it. It actually came out kind of cute, even though it's really tacky and I would never wear it in public. But I made it up in about an hour, partly because it was already, well, it was just really easy to make. So that was one extra project that I worked on this week. The other thing I worked on was my tree skirt. I had mentioned that I wanted to work on some of my Christmas projects, and I found that I really didn't have enough fabric. Well, I needed some lining for it. So I went to Hobby Lobby and really didn't find what I wanted, but I did find something else. I'll show you that in a minute. I went to Joann's and I ended up just buying some red flannel, and I used this green and red plaid that has kind of a metallic look to it. And I also added a red velveteen border. Now, velveteen is actually a cotton fabric. I'll put a description of cotton velveteen in the description box, but I really love velveteen. It's easy to sew, and unfortunately you cannot find velveteen. I couldn't find it at Joann or Hobby Lobby. I had to order it, and it's a nice Christmassy fabric, and makes things, it's easier to sew than regular velvet, and it looks really pretty. But anyway, I used that and cut bias strips to make a border for my tree skirt. So I'll put a picture of it here. I'm very pleased with how it came out. I was going to try and do a tutorial, but I started filming it and I goofed something up, and then I went back to redo it, and I realized I'd already done the first step and couldn't go back. So anyway, I was winging it and it didn't work. So I thought I'll just make it and I'll show you all a picture of it. And maybe if you really want to know how I made it, well, I'll do a tutorial. I will do a tutorial on another Christmas project. The hardest part about it really is keeping the round edges, keeping everything together when you're sewing in the round. It looks easy, but sewing things in a big circle, the fabric really gets, you have to be careful that the fabric doesn't get pushed. And so I did a lot of pinning and laying things out, and I even, as I was sewing the lining to the outer fabric, I stopped about halfway through just to make sure that everything was lined up, and I readjusted my pins. But I think it came out really cute. The last thing I worked on was I cut out some pajama pants for the I'm So Festive challenge that's being hosted by Delilah from Simply Delilah, and Kim from Kim Gaddy Sews, and Lisa from One Lisa Show. Now, I had bought some flannel fabric earlier in the month to make a top and couldn't decide what top to make it. And then I decided, well, I'll just make a pair of pajamas. And I bought more fabric because I didn't have enough of the first fabric I bought. So I am using Simplicity. The rack number is 10892. The actual number is S9217, and it has both men's and women's pajamas in here with a robe and a belt. So as you can see, the pattern is like really fat because there's a lot of big pieces in it, and I had trouble finding the pieces that I need, but I did, and I started cutting out the pants, and then I was looking for the instructions to see what pieces I needed for the shirt, and I couldn't find them. And I thought, I looked all over my sewing room. I thought, where could they be? I looked under the table. Then I thought back, and I said, you know, I don't think there were any instructions. I don't remember pulling them out when I was pulling out the tissue paper to find the pattern So whether I lost them or whether they were taken out by someone at the store or whether they just got left out, I went to the Simplicity website and there was a little help tab, and I clicked on that, and it said if you need any instructions or replacement parts or whatever, call this number. So I called the number and a nice lady answered, and I said, I cannot find the instructions for this pattern. I don't know if I lost them, but is there any way I can get a copy of the instructions? And she said, I sure can send you a copy. Let me have your email. And I gave her the pattern number, and she emailed them to me right away. So I was really glad about that. But the PDF that she sent is for an 8x10 sheet of paper. And as you can see, the instructions are pretty small. And I think what I will try to do is enlarge it on my printer. On my copy machine, well, my printer. I will enlarge it, and then that way I'll be able to read it easier. But I thought that was really nice that I was able to get a second copy of the instructions. So here's the fabric I'm using for the pajama pants. It's this flannel, light blue with little white snowflakes. And then for the top, I'm going to use this light blue with these pretty red cardinals. Now I am trying to decide if I really want to make the pajama top, because I don't know if I want to make a button-up notched collar shirt right now. I'd almost rather make another pair of pajama pants and then just either make or buy a t-shirt to go with it. But I'm still trying to decide. The shirt looks really big, and I'm probably going to have to do some adjustments, but I may just go ahead and make it. I don't know. Anyway, I've got to make it by December 17th because that's the deadline for the I'm So Festive challenge. And if you haven't heard about it, basically you need to, the challenge is to make a garment for yourself or someone else, and out of some type of Christmassy fabric, something festive, and then post it on Instagram and tag Delilah and Kim and Lisa, and they will pick a winner on, I'm not sure if they're going to do it on the 17th or when, but they'll pick a winner. The other, so that's pretty much what's on deck right now. I am planning to work on some more Christmas projects. I have some stockings I want to make, and a mantle cover. And I really wanted to make my mantle cover match my tree skirt, but I don't think I'm going to have enough of that sparkly plaid fabric. So that's another reason I went to Joann this week and Hobby Lobby. And I did find this fabric, which is just a cotton, 100% cotton quilting fabric. And it's got these little metallic stars. It is a green and red plaid. And I like it because it's a diagonal. So it's not exactly the same, but I think it will probably do the job. So I'm hoping to get that made. And I don't think I have any more. I may not have enough of the red velvet to do the border, but the flannel that I used to line my tree skirt actually might be a good substitute for that red velvet. We'll see. I also got this piece, which has got some really pretty poinsettias, and I think I showed y'all some quilting squares of some fabric that I got years and years ago, and I really would like to make a table runner, and I thought this would either be, I think I need a few more quilting squares, a few more squares to make it work. If not, I'll use it as a border or a backing, or maybe just I might put the squares in the middle and then just sew this on to the ends. We'll see. And then I had one impulse purchase at Hobby Lobby. I saw they had a couple little vests that were actually made for children. And one was animal print and the other was like a white fur and had a zipper up the front. And I just thought it was the cutest thing. And I looked on their clearance table and they had this super soft animal print fur, just like the little vest. And it was 50% off. And I said, I really don't need it, but I want it. And since it was 50% off, I went ahead and got a yard. So it only cost me $8.99. And I thought, I wasn't sure if I had a vest pattern or not, but I thought about the Oakley Vest from Love Notions, and they actually have a version of that Oakley Vest made up in fur. And I couldn't remember if I had purchased it or not, but I checked on my account. When you buy a pattern from Love Notions and create an account, they keep track of all the patterns that you have purchased from them. And I looked, and sure enough, I had that Oakley Vest pattern. So I'm not sure when I'm going to get around to making it. Hopefully it'll be before winter's over. I may put it up at the top of the list because I think it's so cute. But we'll see. As far as things going on with life, you may have noticed I've got some highlights in my hair, and it's a little bit shorter. I did get it cut and highlighted this week. It was getting too long and I was having a lot of trouble styling it, so I went to my hairdresser, and she kind of always talks me into highlights, but this time I just said, go ahead and touch up my highlights. So she did. Anyway, it feels good to have a nice haircut. I wanted to go get a pedicure, but I really didn't want to spend the money and the time. So I'll put that on my list of things to do over vacation. And other than that, things have just been pretty calm around here. Okay, so I was editing my video and I thought of something else I wanted to share with y'all. Something else I wanted to share about life this week, and that is my poor Christmas tree. As you can see, it's lit, but it has no decorations. The decorations have been brought into the house from the garage, but where are they? They're sitting over there. I've been so busy I haven't had time to decorate, and hopefully I will get them up this weekend. Maybe Sunday, I don't know. I've got another project I need to work on, and I don't know. I like the Christmas tree. Well, it just takes a lot of energy to decorate. And I told Trish from Pinky's Farm that I was hoping that Will Ferrell would come as Buddy the Elf and decorate my Christmas tree the way he did in the movie Elf. Of course, I've had the tree up for a week and he hasn't been here, and I doubt that he is going to make it. But anyway, wouldn't that be fun if somebody would come and decorate the tree for me? So one other thing I want to mention, I am about 112 subscribers away from hitting 1,000 subscribers. And I know there's only a couple of weeks left in the year, I guess about 3 weeks. I would love to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark by the end of the year. So if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, I would really like it if you would consider subscribing to my channel. I really do love making videos, and I appreciate everyone who tunes in and watches my videos. So just think about it. I would really appreciate it. Okay. That's all for now. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and don't rush around. Obviously, I'm not rushing. And remember the reason for the season, and that's Jesus. Christmas isn't all about getting and giving gifts. It's about the undescribable gift that God gave us at Christmas, and that was Jesus. So have a great weekend. Enjoy this holiday and go so beautiful. Bye-bye.